and welcome back to the channel. My name is Fumilayo from Beth Media and I welcome you to our Python tutorial course. Python is a popular programming language that is versatile, easy to learn, and has a wide range of applications in areas such as data science, web development, and artificial intelligence. This course is specifically for beginners. You would learn Python from the ground up with clear explanation and with practical examples. In this course, we'll cover the basics of Python syntax, data types, control structures, functions, models, and many more. We would also explore how you can work with files, database, and external libraries, and how you can apply Python to real-world problems. By the end of this course, you would have a solid foundation in Python programming and skills to build your own project and to continue learning on your own. So, if you're ready to dive into the exciting world of programming, let's get started. Hello there and welcome back. My name is Fumi from Beth Media, and today's video we'll be talking about Python strings. Strings are fundamental data types in Python and they are used to represent text-based data in your program. So in this video, we would cover almost everything you need to know about Python strings. You would learn how to create them, manipulate them, and use them in your programs. So you need zero programming experience in order to follow along in this video. So let's get started. For this tutorial, we'll be using the Jupyter Notebook, and this Jupyter Notebook would be available for download when we're done. We're starting with Python strings. What is Python string? It's a data structure that represents a collection of character. And the thing about strings is that they are immutable data types, that once you create it, you cannot change it. And then it's also the storage manipulation of text data, as well as representation of names, addresses, or any other sort of information. So the thing about string is that they can be surrounded by either a single quote or a double quote like you see here. So either putting your string in a single quote or a double quote specifically means the same thing. So if we run this, it prints out hello. So this is a string. Sequence of letters in a quote is a string. Now we're going to assign a string to a variable. Assigning a string to a variable is done when you have a variable name followed by an equal sign and your string. So now we'll do that. My variable name is text, and then my equal sign, and then my quotation mark. Remember that your string is not a string if it's not in a quotation mark. So there you have it. That is my variable. I've assigned my string to my variable. And if I want to print out my string, I just have to do print txt and then run the code and it prints out my string. The naming of your variable is a very important thing when you have like long lines of code. It has to be something that represents what you're trying to do with the string or with the whatever you're assigning to the variable. So always be careful when you're choosing your variable name. So there you have it. We've assigned a string to a variable. Our variable is text followed by the equal sign and then our single quotation mark and then our string, and we can easily print out the string using the print function. So far we have added our strings on a single line, but what if we want to have multi-line strings? This is possible. We can assign multi-line strings to a variable using three quotes. You see here we use a single quote and here a single double quote. But if we want to do multi-line string, it has to be three quotes. Let me show you how you do that. So my variable is a for this case, and then the equal sign, do not forget that, and then quote. So first quote, second quote, third quote. So that is the three quotes. You see, Jupyter automatically adds the three ending quotes. And then our multi-line string. This is our multi-line string assigned to our variable. So now if you want to get your string, you just have to click print variable and then you run it and you have your multi-line string. You see, you have it exactly how you've written, how you've assigned it. So you see it ends with a comma, your string ends with a comma, and then let's try this. Let's move and then run again, and you'll see. So if you want to print out your string exactly how you've assigned it and it is a multi-line string, you use the three quotes. So we've used the three single quotes. Let's try it with the three double quotes. So now I'm assigning my variable and then my first double quote, second double quote, and third double quote. And then let's paste our string and let's print it out. Sorry, print B. And when we run, you see we get it. So these are the ways you can print out multi-line strings. You can assign multi-line string to a variable by using three quotes. That's it. Next, we'll be talking about indexing. By this, I mean we have a string and we want to access elements of the string. Like many other programming language, strings in Python are array of bytes representing Unicode characters. However, Python doesn't have a character data type. So a single character is simply a string with length of 1. And here we'll use square brackets to access elements of a string. So now let's have our string. First, we assign it to the variable and put is in quotes, and I have hello everyone. And now I would like to print out a single character. So we have our C, and the thing is we put it in a square bracket. So what I would do here is what is called positive indexing. That is counting from the front. So in Python, we usually start counting from 0. So our H here is 0, our E is 1. I know usually you would want to count from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but in Python, it usually starts from 0. So this is positive indexing, going from the first to the last. We'll talk about negative indexing next. So now I want to access the first character of my string. So that is print C, and then I put 0. And see, when I run this, it prints out H. What if I want to access the space between the hello and the everyone? So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means I'll be printing C of 5. And when you run this, you get the space. To get the E, C of 6. And when we run it, we get our E. So that is like the simplest way of accessing or getting out the single character uh, in Python using positive indexing. Next, we move to negative indexing. So similar to list, I'll make a video about it shortly. Python allows negative indexing for a string. What I mean by negative is that instead of counting from the first letter of the string, we will be counting from the end. So Python also allows you to do negative indexing. So now let's have a string D. Let's still use the same string as before. We have hello everyone. And now to print out, we have D, and then a square bracket. But now we'll start counting from the last E. So our last E would be -1, -2, -3, -4. So we want to print out the Y, that would be -4, and then we'll run that and we get our Y. So Python is amazing that we can print positive, we can do positive indexing and negative indexing. So you start count -1, -2, -3, 4, -5, -6, and it goes on and on and on. So that is negative indexing. So next we'll be talking about the string length using the length function. I know we've been working with like really short string, and to get the length, you can easily like count it. But what if you have like a long string or a multi-line string like we saw earlier? So first we'll try it out with a small string and also with a long string. So then we have hello, this is our simple short string. You can already tell that we have five five letters in our string. And now if we want to print this out, we're using the len function. And then we want to print out the length of our variable. So that's what we have, the print, and this is the function to get the length of your string, length of e, and when we run it, we get 5. So what if we want to print like a very, very long string? For example, remember our multi-line string, and then we have print, same length, len of f. And then when you run it, we get our length of a string. So instead of counting individually by using the length function, we can get our string length. So now we're doing two different things. We're going to check if certain phrases or characters are present in our string, and also we want to check if they are not present in our string. This is useful when you have a lot of strings and then you want to check if the phrase actually exists, because you cannot go through it and search manually. So now let's have our string. We're assigning our variable g, and then we have our quote. Oh, I already have it in the code. So here we have our quote, and what we want to do is, as you can see, Python is amazing and easy to use. So we like to search if and is in our string. As you can see, it is there. So then we have and what we would use is the word in G. So if you read it literally, it means we're trying to print and in G. So what it does is it goes to G and searches for and then if it finds and, it lets us know that it found and. If it doesn't find and, it lets us know that and is not in the string. So when we run this, we get true, because truly and is in the string. So what if we're trying to print something that doesn't exist in the string? For instance, we have but. As you can see, but doesn't exist in the string, and then we run, we get false, because truly but is not in the string. So then the next thing is to check if not. We have a lot of strings. We want to check if a character or a phrase is not present in the string. So now we have h. We're assigning our string to a variable. Again, Python is amazing and easy to use. I hope you agree. And now we want to print. We see but is not in the string, so we want to print but if it's not in H. The same thing, we're checking the string, and if but is not in the string, it should return true, as but is not in the string. So when we run this, we see it truly returns true. But what if we want to check for something that is in the string? We're checking if it is not, but we have an in the string, so it should return false, because and is truly in the string. So this is the method of searching for your string, checking your string if it contains a particular character or phrase. You use in if you're checking if it is in the string, and you use not in if you're trying to check if it is not in your string. Next, what we're doing is Python slicing. Imagine you have a long string and you don't want to print out everything. You only want to like make use of just a part of the string. So let's assign to a variable. Let's still use our Python is amazing and easy to use string. And now we want to slice. Now let's imagine that we only want to print out amazing. That's the only thing we would like to print out. So then we would have print. We don't need the or string, just amazing. We would have I, which is our variable, and then in square bracket. Remember that to access element of the string like we saw earlier, we make use of square brackets. So in this case too, we also make use of a square bracket. And then we have a column. I like to put the column first to explain. So we have the column, and now we would have to have entries in the before the column and after the column. Before the column, we would write the index of where we want our starting index, and after the column, we'll have our ending index. So now we said we want to print the A. Amazing. So remember that counting in Python start from zero. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we can see that our amazing starts from 10. So our starting column, our starting index is 10. And then we have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You see it ends at 16. So we'll then have 16. But when you put 16, it's going to stop at the index before that one. So we have to put 17. So it knows that we really want to stop at 16. So when we print it out, we see we have amazing. So you see the first before the column is your starting index. And then the second one is your ending index plus one. So it stops at the index before your end, before what you put behind the column. Again, so our A is 10, and then the G is at 16, but we want it to stop at 16. So we specify that we want it to stop before 17, which is what we have here. So if we want to also want to print out Python, so you know that we start from 0. So our P is 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means it is 5, but we want it to end at the end. So it's 6. So we have 0 and 6. And when we print out, we'll print out Python. So I'll use slicer string, use your print, your variable, and then in the square bracket, your column. And then before your column is your starting index. And after your column is your ending index plus 1. And that is how you slice a string. So now I would like to perform string operations. String are one of the most used data types in Python because they can be used for a wide variety of operations. So the first thing we want to do is to compare two strings, and we'll use the double equal sign to compare two strings, and then if they are equal, it returns true, otherwise it returns false. So I'm gonna to create three strings. As you can see, we're using the double equal sign operator. Remember, for assigning variable, we use the single equal sign because we're assigning the string to the variable. But when we're trying to check if both are equal, like they're exactly the same thing, we use the double equal sign. So now I want to check if j is equal to k and if j is equal to l. So then I have j, my double equal sign, and then k. As you can see, they are not equal, so I'm expecting it to print false because they are not equal. And what if we want to print for the one that is equal? We have j, and then our double equal sign equals to l. And then when you print it, you see we have true. I've commented this out. Use the hashtag to comment out things that you want the notebook to ignore. So then j equals to l. We see that they are the same, and then we get true. And the next thing in our Python string operator is like we would like to join two or more strings together. We would like to concatenate two or more strings. And in this case, we'll be using the plus operator, the addition operator. So I created two strings. We have our hem is hello and our hen is word. And we would like to join these two strings to one string to make it hello world. So this is how we'll do it using the plus operator. So we'll assign another variable equals to m plus n. So we're telling the different book that we're trying to add m and n together. And then we'll print O. And when we run it, we get hello world. So it has added the two strings together. But what if I would like to have space in between? So here in my hello after the comma, I can put a space. So now it knows that there should be a space between my two words. And if I run this, see, I get the space. So this is how you join two strings to Python using the addition operator. The final part of this tutorial is updating string. And by reassigning a variable to another string, we can update an already existing string. And the new value may even be connected to the old string or it might be something entirely separate. So for instance, we have hello everyone, and I would like to say goodbye everyone because this is the final tutorial. So we have print. This goodbye would then take the position of hello. So the first thing I would like you to print is goodbye. And then you see that we're about to join two strings together. And what the reset would use the plus operator. So now, what do I now want to join my goodbye to? It's with everyone. So now I want to access everyone out of the string. Okay, so we have p, which is my variable, and then I have my square bracket, and then I have my column. So where do I want to start from, and where do I want to end? So I have 0, remember you count from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to start from 6. So I'll put 6 here. I think I can leave it like this. So 6 and then till the end. So you know that the end is till the end of the string. So see, we have our variable, hello everyone. We would like to replace it with goodbye everyone. So when we run, yeah, we see goodbye everyone. So that's how you update your string. Print the string you want to start. If it's that I want to change hello everyone to hello Python, then I'll first print out the part I want from my previous string and then the plus Python. So there you have it. This is the end of the string tutorial. In this tutorial, we started from defining our string, assigning our string to variables, multi-line strings, indexing, negative indexing, string length, and we were able to check if something exists in the string or not. And we also did slicing, and we did string separation, we did the equal, and then we joined and concatenate, and also finally we updated the string. To download this Jupyter notebook, check the link and you should be able to download it for free. If there's anything you would like me to cover in strings, let me know in the comments and I'll make an updated video. Thank you and bye for now. Hello there and welcome again to this Python list tutorial. Lists are a versatile data type in Python that allows you to store and manipulate collections of data. In this video, we'll cover everything you need to know about Python lists, how you can create them, add or remove elements, access specific element in the list. So whether you're building a script or a complex application, understanding Python lists is essential for every Python developer. So we're using a Jupyter notebook to create the Python list. This notebook would be available for download on the BET Media website once we're done. So Python list, as I said, it is used to store multiple data at once. So suppose you have to record the ages of 5 students. Instead of assigning the ages to separate variables, you can simply create a list and store everything in a list. So then how do you create a list? So we see here we have this is how you create a list by using it in square bracket and separating it with a comma. So you assign your list to a variable numbers, and then we print out numbers. And this is how we create a list. This is a simple method to create a list in Python. And your Python list is not only going to be with three integers. You can create a list with different elements. You can create it using string. If you don't know what string is, I created a video on Python strings. You can check that out. Click the link above. And you can also create your list with dictionaries, with whatever, with integers, mixed variables. So you can even have an integer and a string and a float in your list. I'll show you how to do that shortly. So here I can show you that we have a list. So first we created like an empty list. Anything in square brackets means it's a list. And now we have our list with more mixed data types. So this is an integer, this is a string in the double quote, and this is a float. A float is with the decimal point. I also created this video on float, so you can check that out if you're interested. So if I click on run it, you see it print out the list. So this is how you create an empty list, and this is how you populate that list. The next thing we would like to do is to determine the length of our list using the length function. The length function also works in list as it also works in determining the length of our string. So now let's have our empty out list. Remember, a square bracket means it's a list, and then we have our list. And now to find how many items do we have in the list, we use the print function, and then len, the length function, and then the name of our variable, which is b, and then we'll run this, and we see we have 5 items in our list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how you determine the how many items that your list have by using the length function. Next, we have the list constructor. I see that it is possible to use the list constructor when creating a new list. So using the list we have created previously, let's imagine that it's not a list, but a tuple instead. Let me copy this and paste it there. So now I would like to convert this to a list, or to create a list out of this. So what I would do instead is C equals to, then my list constructor, brackets, do not forget the first bracket, and then I'll put this inside the bracket. Let me comment this out because we don't need this anymore. So this is it. And now if I write plain C, see that now our result is in the list. So it is possible to use the list constructor when creating a new list. Next thing that we want to do is that we would like to access elements of the list, access items of the list, and we'll do this by using the index number. So this, let's still reuse what we have so far in our list, and then we have C equals to, do not forget your square bracket. If it's not in a square bracket, then it is not a list. And now I want to access elements. We'll use the index number. As you know, in Python, we usually start counting from 0. So that means 1 here is an index 0, 2 is index 1, 3 is index 2. So if I want to access 3, which is in index 2, I'll then say print C, and then to access and the items in the list, you put a square bracket and then 3, 2, because we said we want to access number 3 in the list. So when you run it, yes, we get 3. This is how you access items in the list, by using their index in square brackets, and then you get that. Now I like to perform negative indexing, which is I want to start counting or accessing from the end of the list and not the beginning. So still using the same list that we have previously, and then I'll paste it here. So now to access this last one, which is number 5, then becomes -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. So then to access that, I'm going to print C, and then my square bracket, and let's say -2. So -2 is we'll get 4. That's 4. So let's run this, and we see we get 4. So that's how you do a negative indexing from the end to the beginning. So -1, -2, -3, -4. So now what if you want to change an item value of your list? We cannot change values for a string because it's immutable, but for list we can actually change values of our list. So still reusing our previous list. If I want to change the first element of my list to something different, this is how I'll do it. I'll take C, which is our variable, and then my square bracket because I want to access the part of the list that I would like to change. So then my index is 0 since I want to change 1, and then I'll put an equal sign. So I'm assigning it to that index of the variable that I made. So now it is equal to, I want to give it a string, so let's call it 10. Now we want to print C. So C of 0 index, that is this one, and I want to replace it with 10. So now let's run that. We see 1 has disappeared. It has been replaced with 10. That is how you change items in a list. And you can also change any item, either you want to do the forward indexing or the negative indexing to change an item. It's also possible to do that. Now I would like to perform 3 different operations: append, insert, and extend. You can use this for various reasons. You can use append when you want to add an item to the end of the list. You use insert when you want to insert an item to a specific index. And then you use extend when you want to append elements of another list to your current list. So now let's append our list. Still using our previous list. And then I would have b dot append, and then bracket, and now I want to append 50 to the list. Now when you print E, 50 will be added to the list. It's an integer, not a string, so I should remove the quote. So you see, we have successfully appended to the end of the list. Append would only put to the end of the list. If you want to specify the exact position where you want your new item to be added, that is when you use insert. So now let me show you how to insert. So still using our same list, and I would like to insert. So E, small letter E, dot insert, and then where do I want to insert? I want to insert my new item in the 0, 1, 2, and I want it to come before 3. So I'll say 3, and then 3. And what I would like to insert is 20. So 20 will then come before 3. Now if I want to print out E, let's run it. 0, 1, 2. Oh, the index is 2. 20 comes before 3. 0, 1, 2. Okay. So that's how you insert in a particular index. You want to add a specific index, that's how you do it. So what if you now want to extend your list? See, we already have, let's create multiple ways to extend. So we have our initial list, and then I'll say G, small letter G, and maybe like change some stuffs here. This is 6, and this is 10. So we have two lists, and I want to make them into one. So what I would do is f dot extend, and then my bracket and G. And now I would print out f. So let's run that and see we have the full list. As you can see, 4 is repeated twice because it appears in both lists. List allows for repetition, unlike set. In set, they are not repetition, but in list allows for repetition. So that's how you append, you insert, and you extend your list. The next thing would be to remove an element from your list. You want to remove a specific or a specified item from your list. So using our previous list, I have H, and I would like to remove 5 from the list. So what I would do is H dot remove. Oh, my H should be in small letter dot remove, and then I would like to remove 5. So now print H, and 5 has gone. So that's how you remove. If you want to remove, for example, 2 instead, you run, 5 is back, and 2 is gone. That is how you remove specific items from a list. So what if I would like to sort my list in an alphabetical order, either ascending or descending? How do I go about this? Let me show you. So I'm assigning it to a variable. This is our new list, and we want to sort it in alphabetical order. So what I'll do is use the sort function. I'll say g dot sort, and yes, and print g, and we'll see this will sort our list in alphabetical order. So we see F comes before O and comes before T and the TH. So what if you want to now sort it in descending order? Still with our list, we'll do G dot sort, and then here we'll put a condition that reverse equals true. So this is telling it that we want to sort in reverse. So now we print G, We see it in reverse. It's 23145, 23145. So this is how you sort in alphabetical order, either ascending or descending way. Okay, so now I would like to join two lists. You can have two or more lists in Python, and then you would want to join them together. One of the easiest way to do that is by using the plus operator. So now let me create a list or two lists so we can join them together. 1 second. I have H and then my new list I. So I would like to join H and I together. So what I'll do is I'll say J is equal to H plus plus I. Now I would print J. So if I run this, I have both lists now in a new list. So yeah, a few of those things you can do with list. I would talk more about it when we get to for loops. Then we'll talk of list comprehension and the rest. So we can create a list, we can determine the length of the list, we can access items on the list, do negative indexing, append, insert, and extend. We can remove from a list, we can sort, and then we can join a list. If there's a particular function of the list that you would like me to talk about, let me know in the comments and I'll create a video of part 2 of Python list. So there you have it. This is our Python list tutorial. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Hello there and welcome to our Python sets tutorial. Set and ordered collections of unique elements in Python, and they are useful for a variety of programming tasks. In this video, we would cover everything you need to know about Python sets, including how you can create them, add and remove, perform set operation like union or an intersection. So whether you are working on complex data structure or you're just looking for a simple way to manage unique elements, understanding Python sets is a unique and valuable skill for any Python developer. Welcome back. My name is Fumilayo from Bet Media and welcome to our Python sets tutorial. So we're using the Jupyter Notebook as always, and this notebook will be available for download on the Bet Media website. So now, how do you create a Python set? There are two ways of creating a Python set. First, you can use the curly braces or you can use the set function. I'll show you how to create using both ways. So using the curly braces, we have a list of fruits. Yeah. So this is a set, your element in a curly braces. And the thing about set is that set only allows for unique elements. So we have two apples in the curly braces, but then if I print fruit and run this, you see we get only apple, banana, and orange because set only allows for unique elements unlike list. List can allow for multiple elements. The next way to create a set is by using the set function. Let me show you how you can do that. We have a set of numbers. Yes, so by using set and then you have your numbers in a list, and when you print that, print numbers and you run it and you have your set. Similar to this, if you have the same element in your set and you run, you still get unique elements. So these are the two methods of creating sets in Python. Now we move to the next step, set operations. There are various operations that can be performed with sets. So first we'll start from union. We have a Venn diagram here that would show exactly what we're going to do. So union is that we're combining two sets to return a new set that would contain all the unique elements from both sets. So we have two sets and we want to join both of them together. That is what we have as union. So we have two circles representing the two sets, and everything is colored blue because we want to take every element of both sets, but they have to be unique. We can't have multiple sets. So I have my set 1. Don't forget coily braces. Then I have 1, 2, and 3. And then my set 2, coily braces. And then I have 3, 4, and 5. So this is my two sets. And then there are two methods of creating union of sets, and I'll show you both methods. First, you use the forward slash. I guess this is forward slash, and then what you have is like union set is then equals to a set 1, and then a set 2. So this is how you get the union of both sets. So then if I then print union set and run, see we get union of both sets, the union of both sets. And then the next method is to use the union method. Let me show you how that works. Then I have union set 2 equals to set 1 dot union, and then in brackets we have set 2. So then if I print union set 2 and then run this, we have our union. So these are the two methods to get your union of set by using the symbol in between your set 1 and your set 2, and then print it, you get your union, or by using the union method. So your set 1 dot the union of your set 2, and when you print it, you get the union of your set. So everything in both sets, but they have to be unique. We can't have multiple elements in it. The next set operation we'll be looking at is intersection. Intersection returns a new set that contains the common element present in both sets. So you see our Venn diagram, we're trying to get the common element, which is this part here that is colored blue, from both sets. So it is the element that both sets has in common. So also there are two methods of doing this, and I will show you both methods. So we have our previous set that we're using and we'll continue to use throughout this tutorial. The first step is using the AND operator. So what we'll then have, since we're doing intersection set, is then equals to set 1 and set 2, and that's it. And then we'll print intersection set, and if we run this, we have 3. As you can see, 3 is what they share in common. The other method that we can use is the intersection method. So similar to what we have the union method, we also have the intersection method. So this is the intersection method. Our intersection set equals to set 1 dot intersection set 2. So then if we print intersection set and run this, we get the intersection. So you can use the AND operator or the intersection method to get the intersection, the common element present between two sets. The next part of our set operation is difference or the difference method. Difference is that you want to return a new set that contains elements in the first set but not in the second set. So according to our Venn diagram, you see we want the element that is just belongs to A, the element that can be found in A but not in B. So just A. And then we have the two set that we're still using. And then there are two methods of doing this. The first method is using the minus operator. So then we have difference set is equal to set 1 minus set 2. And then we'll print that out, different set. And when we run this, we see that 1 and 2 belongs exclusively to set 1. We can't find it in set 2. So we get that. Then the second method is using the difference method. So you see that we've had the union method, the intersection method, and now we have the difference method. And then when we print this difference set, we're using a similar way. So difference set equals to set 1 dot difference of set 2. So then we'll print the difference set, we get 1 and 2. So this is how you get the different element, the difference between both sets that is exclusively belongs to A that is not shared with B. So just A sets. So the next set operation that we're looking at is the symmetric difference method. Symmetric difference is you're trying to return a new set that contains element that's present in either of the sets but not in both. So elements that belongs to just A and to just B. So not the elements that they both share in common. And there are two methods of doing this. We can use this symbol or use the symmetric difference method to get that. So we still have the same set. We're using our set 1 and our set 2. So first using that operator, the same way symmetric difference set equals to set 1 and then our symmetric difference operator set 2. So if we print it, we should get 1, 2, 4, 5 because those are the elements that both sets share have uniquely to them. So if we run this, see we get that 1, 2, 4, 5. And then the next method is the using the symmetric difference method. So if we have that, we have the union, the intersection, the difference method, and also the symmetric difference method. And then when we run it, we have 1, 2, 4, 5. So these are the both methods of getting the symmetric difference of two sets. Returning a new set that contains element that is present in either of the sets, but not in both. Next, we're looking at subsets. We're trying to check if all the elements of one set is present in another set. So, for example, now we have three sets that we're using to check. We have 1, 2, 3, and then what set one we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So, if something like this, you want to check if everything you have in set 2 is also present in set 1, or if anything you have in set 2 is present in set 3. And then there are also two different methods of doing this. Let me show you how. You can use the less than or equal to sign, and you can also use the subset method. It's subset method. So using the less than or equal to sign, we have a subset that is set to a subset of set 1. So then if we print this, subset, and then you run this, we get true because truly set 2 is a subset of set 1. But if I want to check for something that is not a subset, copy and paste this here. So now I want to check if set 3 is a subset of set 1. I mean, no, it is not. So we should get false because it is not a subset. So what if you want to use the is a subset method? We've used the less than not equal to sign. And then if you want to use the subset method, we have is set to a subset of set 1. I mean, no, it is a subset, so it should return true. So these are the two methods to check if a smaller set contains all the elements, or if a bigger set contains all the elements of a smaller set. That is, if all the elements of one set can be found in another set. So we're trying to find if it is a subset of a set. And you can use the less than equal to operator, or you can use the is subset method. So the final thing we'll be looking at in this tutorial is disjoint. Disjoint operation is you're trying to check if a set have no common element, that they share absolutely nothing in common. And what you use is the disjoint method. So now I want to check if we have disjoint between our sets. So we have three sets here: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4, 5, 6, and 3, 4, 5. So you can see that set 1 and set 2 have nothing in common. They have nothing in common. So if I want to check if they're disjoint, I have a set 1, a disjoint of set 2. And then when I print this, I should get true because they have absolutely nothing in common. So when I run this, it's true because they don't have anything in common. Then if I want to check for set 2 and set 3, let me run, copy this, 2 and 3. And then when I run this, we get false because really they share things in common. So there you have it on our set theory or set operation. We first started with creating a set, and then we went through some set operation, union, intersection, difference, symmetric difference, subset, and then finally disjoint. So that's it for you guys. Thank you for watching, and do not forget to check out our next video where we'll talk on Python dictionaries. Bye for now.